Hello everyone, my name is David Delano. You can find my picks on betongetsportstrong.com. That's affiliated with CapN, also at getsportstrong.com. Got two free picks here for the weekend championship week. We're going to start off with the MAC championship, and then I'll give you my pick for the SEC championship as well. My pick, the Toledo Rockets versus the Akron Zips. I'm going to go with the over here. The over, I locked in at 54.5 points. I've seen some places now it's actually climbed all the way up to 57, so I jumped on that early. I'm locked in at 54.5 points for the record, but I will say that even at 57, I think it's a good play. Certainly, certain numbers would make you think that the under is a good play here. For example, in Akron's games this season, the over is only 2-10. So 10 out of Akron's 12 games have gone under this season. However, one of those two games that went over was a 48-21 loss at Toledo. Now, coming into that game, all 7 of Akron's games had gone under prior. But against Toledo, it was different. Now, Toledo is ranked number 1 in the MAC and 15th in the nation. They're averaging 506 yards a game, and they've got a balanced attack. They're averaging 290 yards through the air, a little bit over that, and 215 yards on the ground. So they're very, very balanced. And then the Akron defense, there's 12 teams in the MAC. Akron ranks 10th in defense. They're allowing 421 yards a game. However, they're not too bad in points allowed because they're 4th in the MAC and 25th in the nation with a +7 turnover margin. Toledo actually is tied for 1st in the MAC with a +8 turnover margin. Now, the first time that these teams met, Toledo actually held a 38-7 lead over Akron after 3 quarters. Toledo outgained Akron in that game, 626 yards to 333 yards. So it was total domination by the Rockets that first time that they met the Zips. Now, Toledo's 10-2 coming into this game, Akron 7-5. In those 10 Toledo wins this season, they've scored at least 30 points in 8 of those games. And then they've scored 30 points in 9 of their 12 games, at least 30 points or more in 9 of their 12 games. Now that also includes 30 points that they put up against the Miami Hurricanes in a 52-30 loss. That Toledo was actually winning that game at halftime. Now, the games Toledo did not top 30 points in were their wins over Northern Illinois, where they scored 27 points, and then a 20-15 win that they had against Eastern Michigan. That Eastern Michigan game, there were a lot of missed opportunities there, but still, Northern Illinois and Eastern Michigan ranked 1 and 2 in the Mid-American Conference in defense. And then they had that fluky 38-10 loss at Athens against the Ohio Bobcats a few weeks ago. But I definitely expect the Rockets offense to get back on track here. Points should be no problem for Toledo. Now, the big question with betting the over here is, will Akron score enough? Will Akron score enough? The Zips are second to last in the MAC when it comes to yards per game, and they're ranked 10 out of 12 teams when it comes to points per game that they're scoring, averaging just over 23 points a game. Now, this is on a neutral field. It's in Detroit, which is an hour from Toledo. So I expect the Rockets, they've a better football program traditionally. Close to Detroit, I expect their fans to travel well. I expect at least 38 to 45 points from Toledo. And I think even if it's late, Akron will definitely score enough to get this over. I love the over 54.5. Second free pick, Georgia Bulldogs. We're in a rematch against the Auburn Tigers. Auburn won 40-17 earlier this season. Georgia was a 2.5-point favorite coming into that game. Auburn rolled them by 23 points. This time Auburn's a 2.5-point favorite. I've actually seen it down some places down to 2. That's almost close to a pick 'em now. It is on the neutral field. I'm going to go with the Auburn Tigers here. Both are good teams. I don't think that much has changed for this to only be 2.5 points. I mean, both teams in the first matchup, Auburn outgained Georgia 488 yards to 230. Auburn completely stopped the run. Georgia's going to have to step up and be able to pass the ball here. I mean, Georgia is number one in the SEC when it comes to rushing yards a game, averaging 265 yards on the ground. Auburn's not far behind. They're fourth with rushing yards, averaging 237. Both teams are similar, like defensively against the run. Georgia's second, Auburn's third in the SEC. Now, here's the issue. Georgia's last when it comes to passing yards a game. I don't expect them to be able to generate enough offense here. I'm going to call this, I think, I'm going to say Auburn 27, Georgia 19. That's a weird number. But anyway, I like Auburn here to cover that 2 points, that 2.5. So for the record, my free picks for the week, MAC Championship, Toledo and Akron, over 54.5 points. Auburn and Georgia, I like the Auburn Tigers to cover minus 2.5 points. Go ahead and check me out on betongetsportstrong.com. Good luck to everybody and see how we do.